Nothing like an early heart attack in the month of April. The Mets were able to win in extra innings in Game 6 and take the series from the Marlins. My thoughts, which I have a lot of coming from this game, right after the intro.
Meet the Mets, meet the Mets. Step right up and greet the Mets. Bring your kiddies, bring your wife. Guaranteed to have the time of your life, because the Mets are really socking the ball, knocking those home runs over the wall. East side, west side, everybody's coming down to meet the METS Mets of New York Town.
Welcome back to the Bleed Orange and Blue podcast. My name is TJ Labby, and this is the postgame review. Oh boy, howdy. We're only in the first 3 days of April, and my heart was in my stomach watching this game last night. Oh my goodness gracious. It was like a bad drama waiting the build up, and you just think they're going to fail. It's done. There's nothing anybody can do about it. Yet all of a sudden, the big come up, you know how the main, say like a main character is down at their lowest low and they're not going to get anywhere in life and it's over. But then all of a sudden, from literally out of the ashes, they come rising up out of nowhere. And that's what this game felt like. This was a game the Mets deserved to lose. I'm going to plain out say it. The Mets did not deserve to win this game last night, but they somehow showed grit and resilience and determination. Oh wait, no, they didn't. Pete Alonso did, because Pete Alonso carried this team to this victory. This win does not happen if Pete Alonso hits a clutch home run. This win does not happen if Pete Alonso is not playing defensively well at his position. This win does not happen if Pete Alonso is not taking good at bats every single at bat through this game, and laser after laser after laser after laser. This doesn't happen if Pete Alonso didn't play the way he played last night. Plain and simple. Point blank period. This game does not go in the Mets' way if Pete Alonso does not play the way that he played last night. No argument needed. So let's take a look at these stat lines. And yes, I have a lot of thoughts on this game, which I will very much get into. This might be a lengthy one, folks. All right, pitching stat lines. Clay Holmes, 4.2 innings pitched, six hits allowed, 2 runs, 1 of them earned, 2 walks, and a strikeout. 1 earned. The other run was off of, I don't know what the heck Vientos was doing, but he airmails Hayden Sanger by about 10 feet, and that scores another run. And that run was not on Holmes because it was obviously on an error. So one of his runs that were allowed were unearned. Reed Garrett came in to relief, 1 1/3. 1 in the third, 1 in the third innings pitched, 2 hits, nothing going there, no walks, no strikeouts, no earned runs, no runs allowed. He's been looking great out of the pen recently. He was very effective with his pitches, his sinker, his fastball, and his slider, also his slurve. He looked good. He was very efficient in getting those ground ball outs. Minter then came in. It was not his day. 2/3 of an inning pitched, not even a full inning. 2 hits, 2 runs, both of them earned, and a strikeout, and a flop. And I don't know what the heck happened with Minter yesterday. It just was not his game whatsoever. But also, this ump was a little rough on both sides, but he was consistent at least. At least it was on both sides and not on one side. So Diaz came in, pitched an inning. This was in the 8th. 1 hit, nothing else doing but a strikeout. He looked okay. The only hit he allowed was a single, and then the Mets defense just playing hot potato with the baseball somehow got the runner to third, but Diaz was able to get out of it. Thank goodness. Jose Buto then comes in. He was the one of the MVPs in the pitching category for the Mets in this game. 2 innings pitched, nothing across the board, but he was very, very clutch when the Mets needed him to be. Clutch in the ninth inning, clutch in the 10th inning, and he was another viable reason why the Mets stayed in this game with the pitching. Danny Young then comes in the 11th, only a third, 1/3 of an inning pitched, gave up a hit and a run, wasn't earned because it was an extra innings, a walk and a strikeout, and then the only plausible move, thank goodness Mendoza did this. Brazoban was warming up in the pen once he saw Danny Young was exploding or imploding again, shocker. And then Brazoban comes in. He goes in for the last 2 outs of the game, gets a strikeout, and gets the save for the Mets to win this game. Oh, jeez. Shouldn't even. I don't. In my opinion, I think you should have put Brazoban in before Danny Young, regardless. So thank goodness they made the right move and went to Brazoban. It's his first save ever in the majors. Good on him, and good on him for turning it around. As I said in the episode, as I said in one of the recaps recently, that he's looked a lot better in his position than than when we traded for him last season. He's looked a lot more effective. His fastball topped out at 99 miles an hour, which was the winning pitch to strike out Otto Lopez to win this game. He's just looked fantastic. He looks comfortable on the mound, and hopefully continue to see that more and progress throughout the season. Hitting stat lines for the Mets: Lindor went 1 for 5 with 2 strikeouts. Thank goodness he at least got a hit. Hopefully he'll continue to figure out that slump as we head home, and hopefully he can figure out how to hit in a month other than the later months of June and July, and hopefully in April. Hopefully. Again, I say hopefully. Juan Soto, 1 for 5. It was not his best game. He had 3 runs scored because he was mostly on base for extra innings or on base in general. He didn't draw any walks. He had a strikeout. He's turning it down a little bit, but also first 6 games, so nothing to judge about on that yet. Hopefully he'll pick it up once we head home. Alonso, the player of the game, and the man who carried the offense on his back. 3 for 4, 2 runs scored, 4 RBIs, a walk. Pete is back, folks, and it's so great to see everybody, and I mean everybody, counting him out. You thought he would shut them haters up after the big home run in Milwaukee, or the big home run versus Philadelphia, or the big home run against the Dodgers. No, everybody wanted, a lot of people on this organization wanted him gone, or fans wanted him gone, not people in the organization. Fans wanted him gone. For what? Vladimir Guerrero Jr., who's a fantastic young talent, but I don't think fits in New York, or some other person, say maybe Spencer Torkelson, who they were talking about getting, or even moving Mark Vientos to first base. You happy Mark Vientos isn't at first base now with how he's been playing recently? We'll get into that. But no, the polar bear is back. 2022 Pete Alonso is back, and it is fantastic to see. Home run in this game, his second home run in this series, eight RBIs in this series. What more can you ask for? He looks more patient at the plate. He's taking pitches. He's drawing walks when he needs to draw the walks, and he's decreasing his strikeouts. He looks a lot more comfortable at the plate, and if we can see that 2022 Pete Alonso that we saw him be in that season and continue and progress, I think you're looking at Pete Alonso, your franchise first baseman, being at first base for hopefully his entire career. And the haters can suck on a lemon. Brandon Nimmo, 1 for 5, no RBIs, and a strikeout. He had a slow game yesterday, but he got ripped a nice single in the 11th. Jesse Winker 0 for 3 with an RBI, 2 walks, and a strikeout. He had an RBI ground out. Or no, he had a walk. He had a walk that resulted in an RBI for some reason. And we're to him now. Mark Vientos 0 for 5 with 2 strikeouts. Both of those strikeouts, mind you, both were slurves and sweepers out of the zone. I don't know what the heck he's looking at. And he's also looking at fastballs right down the middle. Dude, how much time do you need to think about to swing the bat? You're a major leaguer. Where's that Mark Vientos that we saw last season that clobbered 25 home runs? Where's that guy? What the heck are you doing, buddy? You got to swing the bat. And also, you got to work on your defense, man. Your defense has been abysmal. 2 errors yesterday. And you're playing at the hot corner, which is one of the toughest positions to play in baseball. You have to be way better defensively, man. You got to get better. I know it's early, but you got to figure it out. And I'm rooting for you. I really am. I hope you get it together. I hope you get back to being Swaggy V, because you're not Swaggy right now. You're borderline good, or just borderline with your .083 average. And yes, this is some person in his bedroom talking about the Mets, but fans everywhere are saying this, that Vientos is not good defensively and he needs to wake up eventually, or else he's going to get replaced. You got to perform. This team wants to win, and you're not playing like the player that we need you to be in order to win games. Brett Beatty, another person who's been off to an awful start. 0 for 4 with a strikeout. I don't know what to do with Beatty. He always shows bright glimpses of the power and his defense during spring training. But once spring training's done, he looks cold turkey. It's like he doesn't know how to figure it out. He always seems to slump once he gets the chance in the majors. And it sucks because I had such high hopes for him, but I don't think he's going to pan out. And it sucks to say. I don't know. I want him to improve, of course, but he just has not been good at all. Pinch runner was Luis Angel Acuna. He had it at bat. He went 0 for 1. I think it was a ground out. Tyrone Taylor, 1 for 5 with a strikeout. Again, both center fielders have been slumping recently with Taylor and Siri. Hayden Sanger getting his first start as a catcher in the major leagues. Got his first major league knock. Congratulations to him. It was a nice ripped double up the gap. So good for him. Hopefully continue to see more of that. And then Luis Torrens, he went 1 for 2 with a hit, and his defense has been fantastic. He has a cannon throwing guys out at second base, just has a knack for it. Great arm behind the plate, good pop time. He frames very well. He is definitely deserving of being the starting catcher right now until Alvarez comes back. But even when Alvarez comes back, I think it'll be an interesting conversation to see if you put Alvarez back in the starting spot or if you keep Torrens in the starting spot, because Torrens has looked very good, especially starting off the year with a .313 average. He's looked fantastic and hopefully continues to keep that going. But the final stat line of this game, Mets 6 runs, 9 hits, and an error. Marlins 5 runs, 13 hits, and an error. Again, Jose Butto getting the win, Xavier Curry getting the loss, and Huascar Brazoban getting the save. All right, let's go over the scoring plays of this game. Pete Alonso with an RBI double got off to the races quickly in the top of the first, making it 1-0. Nothing much happened until the bottom of the third for the sacrifice fly from Matt Mervis ties the game. And then, as mentioned, the airmail from Mark Vientos to Hayden Sanger gets Otto Lopez an RBI as he reaches on a fielder's choice and Stowers scores. Miami takes the lead 2-1. Otto Lopez then singles on a ground ball to Vientos, who misplays it and thinks it's a foul, or he thought it was a foul ball. But the thing with also playing third base, you cannot assume anything. When a ground ball is coming at you, you got to assume it's fair. If it's foul, then let it go. But this was a fair ball. And at that point, either you can't throw home because he had the speedy Xavier Edwards on base, and you also, it's tough to throw the first because Otto Lopez also has some good speed. So at that point, you just eat it. You got to eat it at that point. Nick Fortes with an RBI single made it 4-1. At this point, I thought I was over. 4-1. Offense looks dead. Defense apparently can't learn how to pick up the ball and throw the first or just throw anywhere. I thought it was done. But then all of a sudden, the top of the eighth, Polar Bear's like, nah, we ain't done yet. Pete Alonso with a 3-run homer, his second of the year. His second home run of the year, his second home run in this series, gave them tied the game at 4 in the eighth, and then just a rumpus extra innings. The ninth they didn't score. I'm like, okay, that sucks. But then Miami didn't score. Miami almost scored back in the eighth, but great heads-up play by Brett Beatty to get it home to Terrens, who barely, by the skin of his teeth, was able to tag out the runner at home to keep it tied, to make it go to the ninth, still tied. The Mets don't do anything. The Marlins don't do anything. Top of the 10th, same thing, except the Mets had bases loaded with one out, and they did nothing. I'm like, oh, God, are you kidding me? We're not going to do anything. It's over. Marlins are going to walk it off. Marlins had a runner on first and third, and they somehow get 3 outs. And I'm like, oh, my goodness, this game is going to make me have a migraine for weeks, and my heart is already in my stomach. What the heck? So then we throw the top of the 11th. Pete Alonso's up. Juan Soto on second. Alonso walks. Nimmo with a single, and then Jesse Winker walks. Xavier Curry was not able to find his control, which was a viable part in this for the Mets. Mark Vientos then reaches on a fielder's choice that was fielded by Xavier Edwards, but it was actually an error from Edwards as he was not able to field the ball cleanly or throw it home. Then, which scores another run for the Mets, makes it 6-4. Bottom of the 11th, first pitch, Danny Young throws to Xavier Edwards, ripped right through the shortstop third base gap. I'm like, oh boy. There's a run. It's 6-5. There's no outs. And then Danny Young walks a batter. I'm like, please do something viable that will help us. He gets a huge strikeout, which was not deserved whatsoever. I don't know what Kyle Stowers was looking at. And then they made the move to bring in Brazoban, and Brazoban shuts it down, gets it done, and the Mets win this game 6-5. As I said, we're already 18 minutes in, so I told you this was going to be a long episode. Just emotions from everywhere the eye can see in this game. I'm going to be straight honest because I am honest on this podcast with the Mets. If the Mets did not win this game, I was going to rant to the high heavens and bash Mark Vientos like I had a sledgehammer in my hand. Because this game, as I said in the intro, the Mets did not deserve to win. Lollygagging, just defense was just not good. The offense dead. The offense, they need to work as a team to get better on offense, because these games are not going to happen against better teams. The Marlins, we were lucky enough, stumbled upon themselves and lost themselves this game. They don't stumble upon themselves and they don't lose this game, and then if that challenge back in the eighth doesn't go the Mets' way, the Mets don't win. Marlins walk it off. Easy. Plain and simple. Actually, no, not even. The Marlins would have a 5-4 lead, and then the offense would just go down 1-2-3 because they bring in Anthony Bender to win the game for them and get his second save of the season, and the Mets would lose this series, and they wouldn't be above 500, and they wouldn't be borderline 500 because they're 3-3 now. Would have been 2-4. So what I want to see going into this homestand, they're off today. So that's why I'm recording this today. They're off today, and then they head home they're heading home now, and they start a homestand against the Blue Jays for 3 and the Marlins again for 3 at Citi Field, which is going to be a raucous crowd. They are going to be insane. They're going to be energetic. They're going to be emotional. So hopefully the Mets can copy that energy and bring home more runs with runners in scoring position. More good pitching outings, get the pitching to keep it going. Tyler McGill is going to take the hill tomorrow against Kevin Gausman in this game, 3:10 start on SMY. Keep doing what you're doing pitching-wise, but change things offensively. We need more chances. We need more runs. We need to keep the pressure up. We need to keep it going. Back your pitchers up. The pitchers are the big reason why the Mets have been in games this season, because they've been getting out of rough jams and they haven't been allowing runs. The bullpen looks fantastic. The rotation, Clay Holmes, I'll admit, he looked solid. He wasn't looked good, not great. Same thing back in Houston, but he looked better in Miami than he did in Houston. He just needs to work on his control. His kick change looked good. His fastball looked good. He's working a lot better with that curveball, and that's curveball slurve combination pitch. Just got to limit the walks and limit those hard hit balls. Stop throwing them in locations that hitters are going to hit, and they're going to mash it well. As long as he can do that and figure out and get a little more practice in as we head home into this homestand, he's not going to pitch. Well, he is going to pitch again against the Marlins on, I believe, the final game, or the second game or the third game of the series against the Marlins, which will be the final series of the homestand before they go on another road trip, which is a weird road trip if you ask me, but we'll get there when we get there. So yeah, my expectations for tomorrow, Tyler McGill, keep doing what you're doing, man. You had a great start in Houston. Keep that going. I know you're usually good in April, but keep that going against the Blue Jays tomorrow. The only feared hitters I'd say that the Blue Jays have are Vlad Guerrero Jr., of course, Bo Bichette, and Anthony Santander. If you can get through those three guys and also keep the other guys off balance with the combination of the breaking ball and the fastball and using your sinker effectively, then I think at least we're looking at 5-6 strong innings out of Miguel, and he keeps doing what he's been doing all season, which has only been one start, but that's why I say all season, because, only one game. But yeah, let me hear your thoughts. Let me hear your thoughts in the comments below. If you have any thoughts, please feel free to leave something down there. I'd love to communicate with you guys. Make sure to like, subscribe, comment if you want more of, well, obviously, with this content. But yeah, Mets are 3-3. Hopefully keep it going as they head into the homestand. And as for this episode of the Bleed Orange and Blue podcast, Game 6 of the post-game review, you can put it in the books.